Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, September 27th, coming to you live from Seoul. I'm Kim Mo-gan. Before we begin, these are the stories we're following at the top of the hour. South Korea reports 2,382 new COVID-19 cases Monday, marking an evident surge in cases in the aftermath of the Chuseok holidays. Germany is on the brink of electing a new leader to replace Chancellor Angela Merkel, their second longest-serving chancellor, who will step down after 16 years of service. And South Korean tennis star Kwon Soon-woo has won his first-ever ATP Tour title at the Astana Open, becoming the first South Korean champion on the world's top tennis circuit in over 18 years. Our top story this morning, South Korea's daily COVID-19 caseload hit a record number for a Monday, showing experts' concerns were warranted regarding a post-Chuseok holiday surge. Monday's number usually reflects reduced testing over the weekend, and patterns show that we will likely see an increase later in the week. For more, we have our Kim Do-yeon at the News Center. Do-yeon, is the surge actually sooner than expected?
That's right, Mo-gan. First, for the latest numbers, South Korea reported 2,382 new cases of COVID-19 on Monday, of which all but 26 were locally transmitted. As you said, there had been numerous warnings by experts and the authorities over a rise in the number of cases following the Chuseok holidays, but the surge came much quicker than expected. This is a dip of 388 cases from 24 hours before, but Monday's number usually reflects slower testing over the weekend, so a drop is expected compared to numbers on Sunday. However, compared to a week earlier, it's up 778. Before the holidays, around 20% of cases came from outside the capital region, but the latest data shows that number has now increased to close to 30%. That means the rate of increase in the rest of the nation is picking up, and experts had foreseen this as massive movement during the 5-day Chuseok holiday could lead to infections from capital region spilling over to the rest of the nation. South Korea's vaccination campaign is expected to pick up steam as we head into the fourth quarter of 2021. Health authorities will reveal their vaccine plan for the fourth quarter Monday afternoon. Prime Minister Kim Boo-kyum hinted on Sunday that a booster shot program for senior citizens will be included, as well as inoculations for pregnant women and adolescents. Starting early October, the government will shorten the interval between the first and second shots of Pfizer and Moderna vaccines to get more people vaccinated faster. As of Monday, more than 38 million people in South Korea had at least one dose. That's 74.2% of the population. Some 23 million people have been fully vaccinated. At least 44.4% of the world has now received at least the first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, with nearly 3/4 of those fully vaccinated. This, according to Oxford University's statistics website, Our World in Data as of Sunday. The website also said the total number of doses administered stands at 6.11 billion, with around 26 million shots given daily worldwide. China led the world in doses administered with 2.2 billion shots, while the UAE led the world in vaccination rate with 92% at least receiving the first dose. On the other hand, only 2.2% of those in low-income countries have received a dose, showing clear disparities between them and wealthier countries. The World Health Organization is restarting the pause investigation into the origins of the COVID-19 virus. This, according to the Wall Street Journal on Sunday. The WHO says time is running out to trace the genesis of the virus that has killed more than 4.7 million people worldwide. The agency is assembling a team of 20 scientists consisting of specialists in laboratory safety and biosecurity and others that are knowledgeable in related fields. They will look into a number of possibilities, including whether the virus originated in a lab, a claim that has angered China since the start of the pandemic. The US and its allies have been pushing for research, while China has been saying other countries, including the US, should be also included in the investigation. Beijing is yet to confirm whether the government will let the team into the country.
South Korea and the U.S. begin their regular bilateral defense dialogue in Seoul in the coming hours. The 20th Integrated Defense Dialogue brings together defense officials from the allies for a two-day meeting in Seoul. They will assess security issues on the Korean peninsula and ways to boost cooperation on denuclearization and permanent peace. Also on the agenda is the conditions-based transfer of wartime operational control from the U.S. to South Korea. Regarding North Korea, they'll likely discuss the North's missile capabilities based on the regime's recent launches and its nuclear activities. The North Korean leader's sister is leaving open the possibility of declaring an official end to the Korean War, as proposed last week by President Moon Jae-in at the UN General Assembly. South Korea said it welcomed such a prospect. Our North Korean affairs correspondent Kim Da-mi reports.
North Korea could join in declaring a formal end to the Korean War as proposed by South Korea, and even discuss holding an inter-Korean summit if Seoul treats Pyongyang with, quote, impartiality and mutual respect. This is according to the North Korean leader's sister Kim Yo-jong in a statement released Saturday by the North State media. Those remarks came just a day after Kim called South Korean President Moon Jae-in's recent proposal of an end-of-war declaration a, quote, interesting idea, and said the regime is open to discussions for improving inter-Korean relations if the South ends what she called its hostility against the North. Seoul welcomed the prospect on Sunday, with the Unification Ministry saying it expects to swiftly engage in talks with Pyongyang and urging the restoration of communication lines between the two Koreas. Kim says she feels that the desire in South Korean politics to restore inter-Korean ties is irresistibly strong and that the North has the same desire. But she made sure to say that such things can happen only when there is impartiality and respect for each side. As in her Friday statement, she also said that the North's self-defensive moves are mischaracterized as military threats, while those of the South are rationalized. She then urged Seoul to drop what she referred to as a double standard and hostile policy. Kim Yo-jong also says she will not prejudge how things will go, and experts say the North is passing the ball to Seoul and Washington. Hours after Kim's statement, the U.S. State Department announced that the Biden administration supports inter-Korean dialogue and cooperation. Kim, however, noted that all she said is merely her personal view. Kim Da-mi, Arirang News.
North Korea is readying for another flurry of important events, including the Supreme People's Assembly and the founding anniversary of the North's Workers' Party. Kim Hyo-san tells us more.
North Korea would showcase its military strength earlier this month with the test firing of short-range ballistic missiles, will convene its Supreme People's Assembly on Tuesday. The assembly decides the regime's internal affairs, including laws and budget. Pundits, however, say there is a possibility the regime will use it to reaffirm its commitment to its nuclear arsenal, as well as its hardline strategies against the U.S. Eyes are on whether Kim Jong-un will appear, as he gave a speech at the 14th Supreme People's Assembly in April 2019. The regime will also celebrate the 76th anniversary of the founding of the ruling Workers' Party in October. As this year marks the 10th year of Kim Jong-un's ascent to power, experts say the regime may use the opportunity to showcase its military capabilities.
The North is trying to justify its possession of nuclear weapons by framing an intensifying inter-Korean arms race.
Experts also say the regime's latest actions could be aimed at increasing its leverage for possible talks with Seoul and Washington, especially with reports emerging about movements at the regime's main nuclear facility. Kim Hyo-san, Arirang News.
The UK's Defence Ministry has secured evidence of ships breaching UN sanctions against North Korea, which banned the supply of fuel to the regime. According to a statement Sunday, the evidence was collected by the British frigate HMS Richmond following monitoring and enforcement activity. It did not provide specifics, but said multiple ships of various nationalities were identified. North Korea is under strict UN sanctions due to its development of nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles. Tens of millions of Germans have been voting to pick the person who will replace Angela Merkel, who's stepping down after 16 years as Germany's chancellor. The vote count is currently underway, and for more, we have our Kim Sang-min on the line for us. Sang-min, how is it looking so far?
Mugen, the latest projection on Sunday showed that the center-left Social Democratic Party won by a narrow margin over Merkel's party, the center-right Christian Democratic Union. Projections for broadcaster ZDF showed that the Social Democrats were on track for 26% ahead of the conservative bloc at 24.2%. Both parties claimed mandate to lead the next government. The candidates hoping to replace Merkel are Olaf Scholz, the leader of the SPD, and Armin Laschet from the CDU. The results are not expected until early Monday, but the SPD's lead looks increasingly likely to stay, albeit by only a slim margin. But regardless of the outcome, the winner will still need to team up to form a coalition with other parties to form a government, a process that may take weeks or even months. This is where the Green Party, currently holding third place, could have a big role to play. So considering Germany's complex voting system and the closeness of the race, it could take some time before we get to find out who the ultimate victor is. Germany's era-changing election comes as Chancellor Angela Merkel plans to step down following the election after holding office for almost 16 years since 2005. Merkel has been the second longest-serving chancellor in German history and also a popular one, widely seen as a symbol of stability in Europe. Germany will sooner or later greet a new chancellor, but until the election comes to end and a coalition is formed, Merkel is not going anywhere yet. That's all I have for now. I'll be back with more updates. Mogan.
Thank you for the report, Seungmin. Now, in other news, Pope Francis is urging the international community to build a more inclusive world where no one is left out. During his prayer in St. Peter's Square Sunday, marking the 107th anniversary of World Migrants and Refugees Day, the Pope said the world needs to walk alongside migrants, refugees, displaced persons, victims of human trafficking, as well as the abandoned, without prejudice or fear. He also expressed his appreciation to the different ethnic communities that were present at the prayer. Now in sports, South Korean tennis star Kwon Soon-woo has won his first ever ATP Tour title at the Astana Open, becoming the first South Korean champion on the world top tennis circuit in over 18 years. The World 82 defeated 65th ranked Australian James Duckworth in straight sets on Sunday in Kazakhstan. The last time a Korean player won an ATP title was Lee Hyung-taek in January 2003. Kwon and Lee are the only two South Koreans to win an ATP Tour event. With this win, Kwon is expected to crack the top 60 in the world rankings, topping his career high of 69th in March 2020. Golfer Choi Kyoung-ju has become the first South Korean to win a PGA Tour Champions tournament, formerly known as the Senior PGA Tour for elite golfers over 50. At Pebble Beach Golf Links in California, Choi finished his final round at 4 under par with 5 birdies and 1 bogey on Sunday to take home the Pure Insurance Championship and $330,000 in prize money. It's Choi's first PGA Tour sanctioned tournament win since 2011, when he claimed the Players' Championship title. Marking 50 years since the excavation of an ancient Korean king's tomb, a museum in South Korea is, for the first time, displaying more than 5,000 relics collected from the tomb. Our Kim Bo-kyung has more.
In 1971, while workers were making a waterway, a shovel hit a hard object. They found a brick chamber tomb dating back around 1,500 years.
At the middle of the tomb's passageway stood the stone guardian animal. It was a Chinese custom to have animal-based guardian statues, such as a pig or even an alligator. This guardian animal was the Baekje Kingdom's own version and has a blunt muzzle, wings, and a horn.
After passing by the guardian statue with lips and body parts painted red to ward off the evil spirits, the stone plaques revealed who the tomb held: King Muryong, the 25th ruler of the Baekje Kingdom, and his queen consort.
This tomb is the only one among all the mounds of the Three Kingdoms period that clearly lets us know the identification of the buried and the time period. Around 5,000 artifacts broaden the boundary of the Baekje history, moreover that of East Asia.
Celebrating half a century since the tomb's excavation, the Gwangju National Museum has prepared a special exhibition presenting the 5,232 artifacts unearthed from the tomb, all in one place for the first time. Among the artifacts that were found alongside the king and queen's wooden coffins are gold crowns. Flame and honeysuckle designs decorate the thin gold plate. Gold earrings weighing around 55 grams each and gold necklaces also show extricate beauty. Other artifacts include a lidded silver cup on a bronze saucer.
The silver cup and the bronze saucer and a lid that were unearthed at the queen's head have diverse patterns related to Baekje. It is a valuable artifact that shows the kingdom's philosophy.
Displayed for a limited time to keep them well preserved are the king and queen's wooden headrest and footrest. The artifacts are on display until March. Kim Bo-kyung, Arirang News, Gwangju.
Job seekers in South Korea who have disabilities now have access to a new program that helps them learn new skills using VR. They can train for a variety of jobs with feedback given by the tool. Our Cho Sung-min has more.
The man wearing a VR headset is trying a car wash simulation program. Hot steam comes out of the device in his hand when the lever is pulled, and the sensor shows the area that has been cleaned when he wipes the car with a special glove. He even gets a word of advice from the program itself. At the end of the trial, the program evaluates how he did and gives feedback for improvement. This VR program has recently emerged as a helpful tool for people with verbal or physical disabilities finding new jobs. This is a learning program that is becoming popular amongst the disabled who aspire to make coffee as a profession. Users can become familiar with the coffee-making process as the program includes tutorials on making different types of coffee-based beverages. 5 of its users from a disabled center in Daejeon have recently become certified baristas who work for a coffee chain.
It felt like I was in a real coffee shop. I'm more interested in becoming a barista because of VR.
Program developers say they added VR technology to the special job training exercise program. It is easy to use and cater to job seekers with different skill levels, as users can choose the difficulty levels of each tutorial.
We developed a job training exercise service that offers practical support to the disabled using VR and AI-based content technology.
The simulation program will be expanded in fields showing higher employment rates of people with disabilities, and 10 job training facilities will open in the near future. Cho Sung-min, Arirang News.
Let's take a look at what's going on in the world now. We start off in Switzerland, where Swiss voters on Sunday are set to back a proposal to open civil marriage and the right to adopt children for same-sex couples. In a nationwide referendum conducted through Switzerland's system of direct democracy, projections showed 64% of voters voted in favor of same-sex marriage. While federal government and parliament approved opening same-sex marriage, opponents had forced a referendum on the issue.
This doesn't bother me. For me, the concept of family is not necessarily linked to biological reproduction, so if people adopt or do not bear the child, it doesn't count for me. There are broken families with biological parents and united families with adopted children, so for me it's not a vector of unity.
It's true that it goes outside traditional schemes, but I think what is important for a child is to be loved and respected, and I think some children are neither loved or respected by so-called heterosexual couples, so I don't have any issue or reluctance with this.
With the amended law soon to take effect, it will make it possible for same-sex couples to not only get married, but to adopt children unrelated to them, while married lesbian couples would also be allowed to have children using sperm donations, which was currently legal only for married heterosexual couples. Over to the Canary Islands, where more volcanic explosions spewed red-hot lava high into the air on La Palma on Saturday, as a new emission vent opened. The latest explosion forced the small Spanish island to close its airport, while creating long queues for boats off the island. The seismic activity due to the eruption triggered a rock slide at a cliff near the island's Tazacorte port on Sunday. Authorities have warned that the moving lava could create a cloud of toxic gases and possibly explosions as it hits the sea. The Cumbre Vieja volcano, which first erupted last Sunday, is now entering a new explosive phase. The eruption led to the evacuation of nearly 7,000 people on the island. And finally over to Russia, where Mercedes' Lewis Hamilton won his 100th Formula One race at the Russian Grand Prix on Sunday. Ironically, it was a sudden downpour during the tail end of the race that helped the British driver, as Lando Norris, who had the lead with 5 laps to go, lost his lead after Hamilton switched to rain tires. Hamilton already holds the record for the most F1 wins, with Michael Schumacher next in all-time list with 91 victories. 이승재, Arirang News.
Good morning. Breezy mornings and warm afternoons continue under plenty of clouds today. Afternoon readings in the capital, though, will be a few notches lower than yesterday, so we'll need to dress accordingly. Highs in the southern regions will be similar to yesterday, as Daegu and Busan will go up to 25 degrees Celsius this afternoon. While most regions will be under cloudy skies, Jeju Island will see some sunshine with strong UV rays during the day. Rain-wise, coastal regions along with the Gyeongsangdo provinces could see light rain earlier in the day. Then rain is in the forecast tomorrow evening in the central regions, dropping showers nationwide on Wednesday. While the sunshine returns on Thursday for most areas, while Jeju and South Coast regions could receive more rain through Thursday. Temperatures will continue to spring up and down, so be sure to take well care of yourself to avoid catching a cold. That's Korea for you, and here's a look at the weather conditions around the globe.
And that will do it for us at this hour on Arirang News. We'll be back at noon Korea time, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching and goodbye.